Finally, we arrive at our live trading spreadsheet. This is one of the more simple and straightforward spreadsheets as we've completed all of our analysis and backtesting, so now we're just capturing our trade results. One major difference in this sheet is that we'll be logging actual chart prices rather than pip values like we did in backtesting. Seeing as our live trading logs record chart prices of our trades, it's easier and faster to enter these straight into the sheet and let the formulas do the calculations and conversions. I like to keep my live trading sheet up to date with every trade I'm placing, so I gather this information in real time from within the TradingView trading panel. If you prefer to fill it in at a later date, you have the ability to export and download the data from your broker and enter it into the sheet whenever you would like. I did not build a template for automatically importing this data, as all brokers export in different layouts. Heading into our live trading sheet, we can already see it feels pretty familiar. We have our pair, date, time, entry level, stop loss, result 1, result 2 if you're using multiple targets. We have max win in case you would like to collect that for further optimizing. And we have strategy, so you can keep tabs on which trade correlates with which strategy you are trading. The new areas are all about financing the account. We have deposits and withdrawals for personal money going in and out of the account, and we also have fees. There are small fees your broker charges you to trade, including daily financing if your trades stay open overnight, and there's also an option with your broker to lower your spread in exchange for a small commission on each trade. We'll keep track of all these fees to make sure our balance in here lines up with our actual broker balance as well. I've exported some records of paper trading the 35 bounce, so we can use this to fill in our live trading sheet. Looking over the other tabs of the spreadsheet, we have results, which will be laid out in a very familiar style. This will look just like the backtesting spreadsheet. We also have data stripped for backtesting. So what that's going to do is it'll convert all of our raw data that has our price values to be pips and have our max win. So we're able to grab all of this, copy it, and paste the values straight into a backtesting spreadsheet. Just like the other spreadsheets, we have a tab for settings. And while you may have glossed over this in some of the other backtesting spreadsheets, you'll want to come in here to ensure these settings align with your live trading. You'll want to set up the names of your strategies so you can keep track of which trades correlate with which strategy. You'll want to check your funding labels and check the date marker labels as well. We'll use each of these in the data input tab so you can see how it all ties together. To fill in this live trading spreadsheet, I'm going to use the results of demo trading the 35 bounce strategy. This is what the raw export from the broker looks like. It's pretty convoluted and overwhelming, so I'm going to go through and find one example of each different order type or fee, then skip forward so we can go straight to the results. I mentioned before that these results are based on the 35 bounce strategy. So if I go across to settings, I could update the strategy 1 to be 35 bounce. That means when I go across to data input and go to strategy, 35 bounce will now appear in there. That'll be extremely useful if you're trading multiple strategies and want to keep a record of which strategy each trade related to. Additionally, all of the pairs that we list will show up under pair in data input, as well as all the items from MISC. Looking at the first item on the list, that is transfer funds. So that's when I set the balance to be 500, which I will enter into the starting balance, $500. Moving down, we can see the first limit order. Now that was an order that was submitted to the broker, but has not yet been fulfilled. As such, I will hold off entering it until I have confirmation of the order being fulfilled. Then I will have a timestamp and confirmation of the price that was entered. We have another limit order submitted, and then below that we have an order fill of the limit order on the New Zealand dollar US dollar. Now I will enter this into the sheet. So pair NZ dollar US dollar. It is on November 21st, 2022 at 5:49 p.m. You can see the order was submitted at 5:12 p.m., but the order was entered at 5:49 p.m. So this is the timestamp I'll take, And I will also take the entry price from this line at 0.61165, and below it we can see the associated orders for the take profit order and the stop loss order. Now these say on fill, meaning once price hits one of them, it will fulfill that order. Once it's fulfilled one of those orders, it will automatically cancel the other one. So if it hits the take profit, it'll automatically cancel the stop loss and vice versa. So with these levels in mind, let's enter the stop loss of 0.60704 and the take profit order. Remember that is an order, not a result. So we will not enter that under result. Instead, we will go for our target profit level. So that'll be 0.61762. And moving across, we now get to spread cost and commission. Your broker will provide a couple of different pricing options, either commission-based trading or spread-based trading. Commission-based trading means there'll be a small fee attached to every order fill in exchange for smaller spreads. Conversely, spread-based trading has no commissions attached, but you deal with larger spreads, meaning this fee is built into the spread difference and your trades have to push just that little bit further. You'll have to decide which pricing option suits your trading best and build this into your trading plan. I demo traded this on a commissions-based account just so I could show you how to enter each of these fees. Moving across, we can see spread cost and commission. Now spread cost is already built into the trade, so we do not need to log that. However, commission is something we'll need to log. When entering commission fees, you could type the number just as it is. However, I prefer to start with an equal sign, then type in the number. This means when I come back to add the other fees upon closing the trade, I can just hit enter or return and add my modifier in one easy step. Also, if your commission fees are the same on opening and closing a trade, you could multiply this by 2 when you're entering it in for the first time. That is our first order fill complete. The 2 orders below are the associated take profit and stop loss orders, and we've got to wait for one of those to be triggered. Once one has been triggered, it will automatically cancel the other one, so there's nothing left to do but wait for the trade to complete. Looking below, we can see the order fill on that EuroCAD limit order. Don't let it concern you that a lot of these monetary values go to 4 decimal places. We are just being extremely precise, so when they are added together, they will be rounded appropriately and correctly. One thing to note, any trade on the Japanese yen will have substantially larger figures and just 3 decimal places. This is entirely normal, so don't let it concern you. We had some daily financing, but there was no fee attached, so I've skipped this and did not enter it in the sheet. Looking at the price of this limit order versus when the order was filled, we can see there's a very slight difference, so be sure to enter your entry price from the order fill and not from the limit order line. Moving on, the next order is a very exciting one. It is the first take profit order. This one is on the New Zealand dollar US dollar, and this price here is what we will put under result 1, 0.61767. I was trading with a single target, so we'll leave result 2 empty. There's the spread cost and also another commission cost. I did say before that commission was charged on every order fill, so entering the order is an order fill and exiting the order is an order fill, whether that be a take profit or a stop loss. So the commission will be the same as opening the trade. On my live trading sheet, I can go across to fees, press enter, and then multiply by 2. It's very quick and easy. I haven't automated this process because I can't be sure that every broker will treat it in the same way, especially when dealing with multiple targets, so it's safer just to enter it as you see it here. Scrolling across, there is conversion rate. This trade was based in my native currency, US dollar, so I don't need to do any conversion, hence why it's 1. And then we have profit and loss. Unlike backtesting, we do need to manually enter our profit and loss. This is just to do with the way live trading works. We would have entered this trade based on a percentage of what our account balance was at that time, but we may have multiple concurrent trades happening, which will be constantly affecting our account balance we're basing it on. So entering the first profit, 13.0574, once again going to 4 decimal places. Looking below, it says order cancel, linked trade closed. So this is it automatically cancelling the associated stop loss order. Then we have another take profit and a stop loss, so all of these will be treated in the same way. Here we have our first market order, and it's exactly the same as a limit order, except it doesn't have a fixed price it waits for to enter. Instead, it will fill the order immediately and then set the take profit and stop loss orders as well. So this market order actually fills these 4 rows. Moving on, we have our first daily financing. We can see it fills 2 rows here, although there's only the first row that has a ticket number as well as a balance in there. This is because the top row is the total of all the daily financing, then it breaks down each individual pair within there. As an example, here's an entire block of daily financing. Now to make this easier to understand, I want to color this with a darker outline here and all of these with a slightly lighter one. So what we're looking at here is the header row of the daily financing. This has our ticket number and it also has our account balance. This value here is the total of all of the daily financing. So this here is just a breakdown of all of the trades involved in the daily financing, and all we need to focus on is the total. Going back to our first daily financing, where we just have one currency, we are going to focus only on this top row here, which I will put in bold. Entering financing is very easy. We just go to settings, ensure that financing is listed under this MISC column, as everything in this column will show up under pair. Then we just type financing, move across, we put in 11, 28, 22, and 2 o'clock. Then go right across to fees and enter 0.0643. I don't have a need to keep financing and commission fees separate, so they all go together in the fees column. The next item to enter falls on the 1st of the month, so now is the perfect time to look at these date markers here. If I wanted to visually separate out each month, I could just type in month before my first item of that month, then continue on below. This is a great visual marker to quickly identify blocks of dates. All of the data from the 35 bounce demo trading has now been brought in, starting from the $500 balance right through to the end of January 2023. We covered everything from limit orders to market orders to fees and financing. Now it's time to look at the results. The results tab looks similar to the one from backtesting with a few variances. The first to note is this ratio column. While I had traded this strategy at a 1.3 to 1 reward to risk ratio, if I missed a trade entry but was offered a better price, I maintained the same stop loss and take profit target levels, but entered using a market order. This offered a higher reward to risk ratio, which can be seen on a few of these trades where some reached 1.7 to 1, 2.2 to 1, 3.7 to 1, and even a 4.7 to 1 reward to risk ratio. This strategy was working extremely well, reaching over 40% up in just 3 weeks. However, it came crashing down for the final 2 weeks of January, bringing the account balance below the initial starting balance. This emphasizes the need for drawdown limits in trading plans and also outlines the fact this strategy may still need refinement despite the earlier optimizations. It was important for me to show you this to ensure you wouldn't be tempted to go out and just begin trading the 35 bounce strategy, as it was only created during this course as an example. If you did want to continue with further backtesting and optimization, you can take this data and paste it into a backtesting spreadsheet. Everything else in this sheet should be self-explanatory based on your experience with the backtesting sheets. You've got your secondary target result if you are trading multiple targets. You have the automatically calculated ratio now, so you can get an idea on your average ratio. There is also the risk, gain and loss, and drawdown breakdowns. And additionally, we have the fees and transfers section. If you deposited or withdrew funds from your live trading account, all you'd need to do is go to pair and type in deposit or withdraw, enter the date and time, and then just enter the amount. Let's say you deposited $50 and withdrew $35. On the results tab, if we scroll down, you can see both are added under this transfers column. We transferred $50 in and $35 out, leaving a difference of $15. Following the backtesting sheet, this live trading sheet should feel very familiar, and I hope it is of great value to your live trading.